Hello, guys. So, today I want to talk about why education matters. Why do we go to school for? Why is it important to um, go to school, keep going to school, continue education? Why is education important? That's a big question that many times passes our mind, and we want to know the reason. We want to know the reason. And sometimes we, at first, we do not like school. We dislike the idea that we're doing all this work and we're not getting nothing out of it. Like, we're not getting any monetary value. But going to school actually prepares you for the future. It literally does. Because every time you um, talk to other people, you need to know how to communicate, either by um, oral or in a text, which is written, and um, you need to be able to send your message across and be able to showcase your point or make your point known so that you're able to be successful in what you're trying to reach for. If I would not go to school and disregard whatever they taught me in school, I think so much that I was able to go to school and finish. I'm not bragging about it. I'm telling you from personal experience. Getting a degree in English has really changed my life because I'm now more aware of my writing, my communication with other people. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying that um, I don't make mistakes or that I'm very friendly or that, but I'm able to be successful in everything or in every job I come across. I'm able to read the instructions, follow directions. I'm able to give feedback. I'm able to work with others. I'm able to be creative and move on. And why um, that's why I think that you guys never disregard or um, never take for granted education, because education. If you don't have education, um, if you don't know, like, let's say reading and writing are part of education, right? Because when you get educated, you know how to read, you know how to work with numbers, you know how to write, and basically you know how to communicate with others, and you're able to be successful. Let's say someone doesn't go to school, and nowadays we have a lot of technology and a lot of things that um, need to be filled out in an online application, or need to be communicated in an online application. I'm sorry, and this person doesn't know how to get their point across, or they don't know what they're They don't know what they're being asked, even if it's just something simple, because they use different terms or because the person blanked out. Um, you need to be able to be prepared, not to be an expert, because nobody in this world is perfect. Let's get that um, out there, because if you think you're gonna go to school and be perfect, that's not what school is for. School is always beneficial. It helps you, but there's always room for improvement. Even um, professors, scholars with renowned degrees, renowned names, and renowned reputations, um, they make mistakes as well too, because we're only human, right? But the point is that education helps you. Education helps you move on to better grounds. It makes you um, make better decisions because you're informed. You know what's going on. You know how to read that sentence. You know how to answer that question in that box. You know how to write your manager a letter or an email. You know how to manage a business with low or high numbers. You know how to simple things as um, communicating with others, um, and knowing basic skills like writing, reading are just fundamental. That's why those math and reading and writing are like the most fundamental. Science too, but I think that math and reading and writing like um, are basically the most fundamental subjects um, in school, right? Because those two, if you have those two, if you know those two, if you practice those two, I'm not saying you're gonna be a rocket scientist or a mathematician, but you're gonna be able to be successful. You're gonna be able to talk with others. You're gonna be able to comprehend things in a different way, because that's what English does, right? You read, you read about stories. You learn from those. You you experiment reading. You experiment things just by reading, just by going into the characters or learning a story that you never heard before. You get to enter into other worlds that you haven't even imagined before. You 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 explore, you learn, you navigate, and then it brings you back to reality. You analyze what you read, and then you can either write about it, discuss about it, and you move on. You learn from those things, right? And that's why educating yourself is important. Reading, even if it's just for like 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, just read something. Even if it's something simple like a little bit of the newspaper, magazine, your favorite book. Sometimes those things work because if you like a book or the subject of the book, you're more more likely gonna be able to read it with more facility. You're gonna be able to like the activity about reading that specific book. Um, and yeah, like educating yourself. Going back to the question that I introduced this video um, to, or transition this video into, I think that education is important. Why do you guys think education is important? I think that education is important because it just opens new doors. You make better decisions, like I said before, and to be honest, I wouldn't. I don't know what I would do if I hadn't gone to school, because some people you might think like, okay, like you go to school, you read all these books, and what with that? Okay, um, for some people, reading um, takes more practice, or takes more effort of them, because it sounds or it seems for them that it's boring or uninteresting, and or writing about, or journaling, writing about their everyday might seem boring, but all those things um, help you understand other things in a more um, clear way, because you get to analyze the information, the situations, and you from there you make a better decision. Let's say someone comes up to you and they say, "Oh, you want a car?" And I have the keys right here. You just have to sign this paper. What do you do? Do you immediately sign those papers and without reading the paper and move on to the car, asking for the keys with the other hand, and drive off? What would you do in that case? Well, that person is showing you a paper. You don't know what that um, person is showing you. You just assume that it's the paper that makes you the owner of that car. But what if that person is actually giving you something else, and because you don't know how to read, or because um, you just disregarded the paper, you decided not to you decided to sign it right away and move on. What if this paper actually was very detrimental to your life? Obviously, you just you just signed off something really negative for you, and it was because I'm not assuming. I'm just saying that this it was because of the excitement you have. excitement and the communication. Communication. Some people can be very convincing, convincing. But let's say that she was selling you a car, but for a certain amount of money, and she claims with no interest, and you sign off because she's saying that there's no interest on the car, but you without reading the paper, um, you sign it off, and guess what? You're um, you're missing out on that piece of information in the paper that says that you have an 18% or a 20% on that car. So those are the kind of challenges that you might face in a real life scenario, that you might want to evaluate or consider, um, before disregarding education, because education is not only for buying cars, it's not only for um, something that or someone that can affect you. It's for everything in your life. It's a different form of life. It gives you a new life. It gave me a new life because I'm able to navigate through many things in my city and be able to do things that um, I never thought I would do without education. I feel more clear on what on some things on some levels, and I hope you guys focus on you guys think what you guys think about education. If you guys think that education can better your life, leave a comment down below, or have any questions about education. I can probably come back to you and answer some of the questions that you leave down below. I will try to answer as much questions that you guys might have.